What's up, everybody, and welcome to episode 3, season 2 of the Daily Pill, a webcast sponsored by our parent company, Angel Home Care Services, an agency educating and providing caregiving services to the Miami-Dade and Monroe communities right here in South Florida. All right, so today we have a special guest on a special topic, and the topic is Medicare and the special person is Mr. Marty Silbernik. All right, and Mr. Silbernik, he's got a resume which I'm not going to read the whole thing, but I'm just going to highlight the parts, And so he's a native from Chicago. He began his career in marketing with McDonald's. He became an executive, and then he had a couple of restaurants when we were in Florida because he was looking for warmer weather. I guess you were looking for a little bit warm weather, and then after so the Marty, his primary focus at the time was he started sold those 2 restaurants and then went into insurance, indemnity, accident, disability, critical illness, all that stuff, and then he kind of pivoted into Medicare, and that has been his core specialty. Right now, through United Medicare agency in Boca, where his company and his office is, he offers Medicare supplements, Advantage plans, and drug plans for all the major players in the Medicare industry. United Healthcare, American, Humana, Aetna, Mutual of Omaha, WellCare. And so his focus right now is to pretty much, like me, right? He spends most of his time educating people about the choice they don't even know they have. And Marty, welcome. Thank you for taking the time to be here.
Thanks for inviting me. It's a pleasure to be here. I'm excited about doing this. It's a fun way to spend some time and educate some people.
All right. So do you remember what we titled? So I called Marty last night and I said, hey, Marty, we need a good hook, a good title, man. You're the expert. What do you think we should title this thing? Right. And do you remember what we came up with?
I remember 7 variations. I don't remember what the final one was, but something about if you think Medicare is free, and I forgot the rest of the tagline, to be honest.
Yeah, if you think Medicare is free, think again. All right.
That's it.
And basically that statement grabbed me because the first thing that I asked you after you told me was what do you mean? Right. And so what do you mean, Marty, that Medicare is now free? And then, of course, I know that you're going to go a little bit into a brief breakdown of what Medicare by definition is, by practical definition. And then we'll get into a couple of myths that I know we want to debunk. But let's just start there,
Okay. Well, I can't tell you the number of people who come up to me or who talk to me and say, well, why do I have to pay all this money for Medicare? I thought it was free. During the annual enrollment period, which we're in the middle of now, you see all these commercials on television, 0 premium, free dental, includes vision, no co-payments, and everybody accepts that as the gospel and thinks it's free. What they haven't told you, and what most people don't understand, is that when you go in and enroll in Medicare, there's an automatic set of premiums that you have to pay regardless of what plan you're with. So I want to start with that because that's the first base cost. Medicare is in really 3 parts, with Medicare Advantage being the 4th part. There's Part A, which is hospitalization, which if you've worked in the United States for 10 years, it's free. You've paid for it through your Social Security deductions and your payroll deductions. Okay. There's Medicare Part B, which is hospitalization, not hospitalization, doctors, outpatient care, durable medical equipment, lab work, those types of things. Part B comes with a premium. It is not free. There's a premium, a base premium of $148.50 per month for Part B coverage. Regardless of what Medicare plan you're on, that's the base fee. So you start at $148.
That comes out of your pocket. That comes out of your pocket.
That comes out of your pocket. For many people, it comes out of their Social Security. If you're not on Social Security, you get a bill quarterly from Medicare. Now, there's one catch with that one. If you're a successful entrepreneur or individual and make a lot of money, that premium goes up. The more you make, the higher it is. It ranges from that $148.50 to as high as $504.90, depending on your income level. With income levels over 500,000, you're looking at $504.90 per month, and
Wow.
that's a pretty substantial amount of money. So that's the first part of Medicare that isn't free. We start with that base.
Okay.
The next part is your prescription drug plan, the Part D plan that everybody refers to. There's a monthly premium for that. That'll range from anywhere from $13 to $67 or even $80, depending on the plan and the coverage and what you need. So we have to add that on. So let's start with base $148.50. Let's use some round numbers. $150 for Part B, anywhere from $30 to $80. We'll go in the middle at $50. So right now you're sitting at $200 a month for Medicare as a base cost. Now, on top of that, since Medicare Part B only covers 80% of those doctor's bills, outpatient bills, urgent care bills, somebody has to cover the other 20%, and that's you. And it comes out of your pocket unless you purchase a Medicare supplement.
This is in addition to the 200, Marty. This is in addition to the 200. Okay.
Yeah. Well, that, depending on the age that you're coming in at, can take another $200 to $300 or $350 onto that monthly premium.
Okay.
So with that, you get incredible coverage. You'll never see a doctor bill. You'll never see a bill from a physical therapist or an outpatient clinic. Everything is covered, but you're looking at somewhere around $600 a month. So
out of pocket.
Out of pocket. Let's talk about Medicare Advantage, which takes Part A, Part B, and Part D, the hospitalization, the doctors, and the medications, rolls it into one plan. Those are the zero premium plans, but those are traditional insurance. So with a zero premium plan, you have a copay to the primary care doctor, anywhere from $10 to $20. A copay to a specialist, anywhere from $30 to $50. You have copays to hospitals. You have copays for virtually everything that you do, just like traditional insurance. And those copays can rack up to a substantial amount. Now, many plans or most plans have a maximum out of pocket, and that can go anywhere from $3,500 to $10,000, depending on whether you're an HMO, PPO, whether you stay in network or go out of network. So there is a substantial cost tied into Medicare.
Wow. And so does that finish? Is that pretty much the layers of cost, right? So before you know it, you could be $600, $700 out of pocket easy, depending on, and I know it's all depending on your situation, right?
Well, and that's the important thing when you're dealing with Medicare. A lot of people don't deal with Medicare properly. They don't line themselves up with somebody who really understands that and wants to educate them. They'll listen to the commercial, they'll call the 800 number, and they'll be locked into a captive agent, somebody that just is there to sell the plans of a single company, as opposed to a group of independent agents like I am that represent, multiple companies. I have somewhere in Florida alone, probably somewhere between 70 and 120 plans that I can look at to custom tailor a Medicare plan for somebody and minimize the cost and maximize the coverage.
So as a consultant, right, you're not pretty much captive to, you just go, you have a portfolio of options out there and you grab the options that best suit the needs of the person that you are helping.
Absolutely. I go through a series of questions with my clients, identify what their needs are, show them the options. My firm belief is that if I inform them, if I educate them, and they can make an informed decision, the coverage that they have is going to be right for them, both in the short term and the long term. And that's my goal in dealing with the clients that I deal with. So
Andrea, hi Andrea. So Andrea's saying, I think I'm moving to Canada. I don't know if that's the answer. My wife's Canadian and she's not going back there for, healthcare. She's going to roll the dice right here in the US. But I think what you need is to link up with someone like Marty and first and foremost on just about anything having to do with healthcare, educate yourself, get the right information, understand your baseline, and then go from there. Marty, a question that I'm always presented, how, and the question of whether it's best for you to link what do you call it when the Medicare is open, free, right? Is that versus tied to an HMO or what do you call an Advantage plan, right?
Oh, okay.
Okay,
Yeah,
so
we call that traditional Medicare versus Medicare Advantage.
got it. So when it comes to the choice of traditional Medicare versus Medicare Advantage, for a person to choose, what, as a rule of thumb, and I know every situation is different, but as a rule of thumb, what would you say? Is if you're healthy, right? Are you better off with a Medicare Advantage? If you're starting to show pathology, you're starting to get sick. Is there such a thing as a rule of thumb when it comes to that you could just quickly shed some light on that?
The more you learn about Medicare, the more you learn there is no rule of thumb.
There is no
it's unfortunate, but the decision you make today, if you're a healthy individual and say, I need the zero premium, I'm not worried about the $7,000 out of pocket on a Medicare Advantage plan, I'm going to go with that because it's going to cost me less in the short run. I just have to pay my Part B premium. And then a year later, you get sick and you have a series of whatever illness it is, you're not going to be able to go back to the original Medicare very easily. You'll have to be underwritten. And you will wind up staying with that Medicare Advantage plan for the rest of your life. And if your health deteriorates, you're going to be looking at that $6,000 to $10,000 or $11,000 every year versus traditional Medicare, where you're at $3,600, let's say $600 a month, rough numbers. 600 times 12 is $7,200 a year versus, and that's total coverage, no copays, nothing. You don't have to worry about anything coming out of your pocket. So again, the metric that I like to use is that only about 30 to 35% of the people on Medicare are on a Medicare Advantage plan. The remainder are on Medicare supplements. So there's got to be a strong reason for that. And I think in the long run, depending on the individual, it's cost. Now, there is a time and a place for Medicare, a Medicare Advantage rather. If you're on Medicaid, if you have dual needs, if you have chronic needs, special needs, Medicare Advantage plans may be the best way to go because they offer customized coverage. So again, there's no hard and fast rule. There's no what's best for Medicare. It's what's best for the person. And that's what we have to decide. And that's what we have to look at.
I get it. All right. So don't go by rule of thumbs. Don't go by, just basically talk to an expert, who's going to assess your situation and is going to help you to make the best decisions based on your circumstances. Right.
Yeah. The best question you can ask your Medicare advisor is, what companies do you represent? And if he represents or she represents a host of the major companies, Humana, United Healthcare, United American, Mutual of Omaha, you're dealing with an independent agent that can find the best plan for you. If they say, well, I deal with United Healthcare and Preferred Care Partners, that's the same company, they're pretty much captive to the plans of that company and don't have the broad variety of options for you. Okay.
And as I understand it, you also have enrollment periods for Medicare, correct? Which are, I think, October to December.
There's really two major enrollment periods for Medicare. There's the annual enrollment period. That goes from October 15th through December 7th. Anybody can do almost anything during that time period. You can go from a Medicare, traditional Medicare to a Medicare supplement, back from one to the other. Everybody should be reviewing their prescription drug plans during the annual enrollment period because formularies and networks, everything changes year to year, and you need to make sure that your plan still covers you appropriately for the following year. The second time period is right now, January 1st through March 31st, where let's say you made a mistake. You screwed up. You found out that your doctors are not on the Medicare Advantage plan that you signed up for. You have a one-time shot during that period to go back to original Medicare or enroll into a different Medicare Advantage plan to take care of the mistake that you may have made. So those are the two primary periods. There's other special enrollment periods throughout the year. Way too detailed to get into tonight, but if anybody's curious, they just have to reach out to their specialist.
Got it. And then there's a way around it. If you're stuck in something that's not, there's a way around any changes that you got to make all year round if you absolutely had to on your condition.
If you absolutely have to, if there's a legitimate reason, there's always a way around it. We can find something more often than not.
Oh, Is there any question that I should have asked you that I haven't asked you yet? Even though we only have 15 minutes, we have like 2 minutes left. But is there anything that I haven't asked you that I should be asking you?
Well, there's only one thing that I want to let people know, because it's the other question that we talked about earlier. You do not have to be collecting Social Security to go on Medicare. You just have to be 65 years old and deal with an advisor, somebody who can take you through what you have and make sure it's the right thing. There are people out here that are eligible for Medicare but have no business going on Medicare because they have great employer coverage. And I'm not going to take somebody off of great coverage and put them on Medicare until I absolutely need to, or they absolutely require it. Those are the two things.
Oh, okay. So we debunked 2 myths today. I know there's a few more because I know you're the master of Medicare. All right. We're going to tackle those. So this makes for a great cliffhanger, which I know, like, how many of these myths do you think are floating out there that need to be completely debunked? Would you say what, like 10, 12, 15 of these, or it's just more like, 4 or 5 of the main ones that people, are kind of like,
I've been doing this for about 12 years. And every time I turn around, there's a new myth that needs to get debunked. I mean, they're just, people have such a misunderstanding of Medicare that it really becomes critical for them to take the time to learn what they're doing and not make a mistake that could cost them thousands.
All right, cool. So Marty, just 15 minutes. Just when you need to go is when I feel like I'm, it's when I'm starting to have fun. So that means that we're gonna have to do this again, man. We're gonna have to do it. Yeah. So thank you so much. This has been invaluable. I'm going to get a transcript of this, and I'm actually going to create a blog post of it on a text format, and then I'm going to put that out there as well, and on a Q&A format, because I think as many ways as people have to get this information and put it into practice, then that would be beneficial. I'm also I know that we've been flashing your phone and your information on the screen, but I'm also going to put it, this is actually going live on Facebook right now, so I'm going to put all your information accessible for everybody to have. So if any questions, to reach out to you,
absolutely. Absolutely. And if not me, just find the right person, somebody you're comfortable with that knows Medicare.
Awesome. You're a very humble man, but he's the guy, by the way. All right. All right. Thank you, Marty. I'll see you soon, buddy.
Thank you.
All right. Bye-bye.
Okay.